Hi, I'm Deli Dutton. I've been thinking about an old D&D character and decided I wanted to paint her. Her name is Simriel Alizan, although she goes by Imri. She is a half-elf Valor bard. Her parents are both half-elves. Her mother is General Augustine Alizan, a stern woman with a genius for combat. Her father is Jocelyn, a field medic and spellslinger that tended Augustine when she was injured. Imri spent her childhood in prestigious boarding schools or on the battlefield as her mother's page. When she turned 18, she attended her father's magic university. She struggled with the wizardly magic, but she was able to successfully get through 2 years of school by coming up with little songs to help her study, drumming with a pair of wands to help her focus. Nobody noticed until a particularly strict teacher realized that Imri was using improper techniques and after a bit of testing, wrote to Imri's parents. Imri felt wildly ashamed that her weakness had been exposed. She tried very hard to be the perfect child for her parents. But her mother recognized Imri's bardic talents and placed her with a captain who was also a capable bard. Imri was thrilled to join the military sooner than expected, and this soothed any hurts of not being smart enough to be a wizard. She assisted her captain with organizing supplies, scribing for him during meetings, and running messages, learning from him and fighting alongside him. She quickly became a lieutenant and was on the path to earning her own command. Simriel came up with marching chants and drinking songs and daring stories featuring her squad's battles, which spread to other squads. Simriel was proud to help serve her country and proud to earn her parents' approval by being clever and daring in battle. It was likely the best time in her life. She had everything mapped out in front of her to have a successful career. Until her squad was sent to fight a group that was known to use undead soldiers. Sure, she talked a big game, telling scary stories around the fire and joking with her comrades, but when she faced them in combat, she froze. Her captain needed her help, and she ran. She couldn't bear to face her family after such an act of cowardice, and so she joined a trader's caravan as a guard and got as far away as she could. When the country she traveled through was destroyed by mysterious magical means, people just sort of assumed she was a fellow refugee. She took that cover, as most people didn't ask questions after she said she was from a place that had recently been so thoroughly destroyed. Eventually, she joined Durjan, a shape-shifting changeling sorcerer who claimed to be a captain from the same destroyed country. She assumed he was like her, lying to avoid something, but he truly was what she claimed to be. They also joined Solrash, a dragonborn noble paladin who was a bit bombastic about defending his honor, and a mysterious little rogue named E. Upon arriving to a big city, the group decided to do some sightseeing, and ended up at a couple of temples. Imri prayed for a way to restore her honor, and the next day they got caught up in fighting undead in the sewers. She took this to be a challenge from her deity, and she took it very seriously. She became friends with a warforged priest named Smith, who kind of reminded her of her father. He was able to give her advice and made her a cool shield, and gave her a spell slot restoring holy symbol. She made him a song for his temple in return. It gave her hope to have redemption offered as a possibility, and when she discovered a plot to create a dangerous weapon, she was able to report to her mother via sending, despite her fears. Which was another whole can of worms, since she then found out her mother had fully assumed she was dead and not AWOL, but Imri was determined to regain her honor in the eyes of her deity, so she held strong. After her religious revelation, I kind of wanted to multi-class her into paladin, but she had noodle arms, so it wasn't a good option. But that's fine. It seems like I often end up playing a character who is one class but is heavily flavored towards another. It keeps it interesting. In terms of gameplay, she was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the intensity of her. She was kind of a jack of all trades, but her main skill was battlefield control. She had the mobile feat and was very tanky thanks to good hit point dice rolls, half plate, and a +1 shield. So she could physically place herself almost anywhere on the map and be in the way. And I tended to take spells that moved or shut down enemies. It made sense for a soldier bard to direct the battlefield. Oh, and I actually wrote a couple of little poems for her. So, one of them, we had gotten into an argument with a noble about the ownership of a griffin, and then later had been tricked by another bard who is a spy known as the Hummingbird into being at the scene of that noble's assassination. We ran out of town, but she followed us, and in order to pull her out of hiding, Imri disguised herself as the Hummingbird, and the entire group put on a performance to make her mad. Here, let me share. It's called A Hummingbird Fights an Echo. A hummingbird in a meadow was singing well and true. You'd never hear a note of key, see corpse flowers dance in the fur. Her enemies in echoed verse, hers brought to a higher class. Asked around to find out what, but couldn't find the player. You're in for a delightful treat, a sweet wind blows the answer. Her pale minions ordered out, rout this noise we bid thee. We answer with a thunderclap, flap her wings, a straining bird. Hurt upon the words we blow, though she'll never catch an echo. So pity the hummingbird, erred and chased what can't be caught. Ought to learn a lesson or two, you can't contain an echo. The end. The idea was to echo the last sound of each line with the beginning of the next one. I wouldn't call myself a poet, but I do dabble occasionally, and I was pretty proud of this one. I enjoyed painting Imri again. It's been a while, and it was fun to be a little nostalgic about her. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to continue on this art journey with me. Bye!